These Lincoln Electric fume extractors, the Miniflex to be specific, are like a DIY welder or hobbyist or a small shop owner's dream. But once you kind of buy them, not only do you realize really quick that stuff is expensive, but there are virtually absolutely zero resources on how you repair or even take this thing apart. So when I bought one in pretty badly used condition, it was all a learning experience and breaking some of the stuff. So this video will touch on how to remove and replace this on-off switch, how to remove and replace this control panel, and how to replace the brushes, and also how to replace one of the filters that are on this unit. So let's get started. First thing is first, we're going to tackle this switch here. On one of the units I purchased, this switch was broken and wasn't turning the unit on and off. So the way you remove one of these guys is grab yourself some automotive trim tools and you just pry around the casing. And then this switch comes out and there are 4 contacts. There's 2 black ones, 2 white ones. They're opposite of each other, and this switch just clips in. I will have the part number for it available. Do not buy the Lincoln Electric one because it is made by a third party. So if you pay $56 for this switch that's made by a different company, it's going to come to you and it's not going to say Lincoln Electric or anything. It's going to be the same switch that you can get for under 15 bucks online. So I will have that part number instead of the Lincoln Electric one, saving you some vital cash. Some of these fume extractors come with a control panel that's like this, where the buttons are broken or the switches underneath aren't pressing anymore because they've been abused in the shop settings. So it's really easy to replace these. These are not cheap. They're like 400, 500 bucks for literally this guy on a small circuit. So there'll be a video soon on how you can actually repair these. But in the meantime, let me show you how to replace them if you can source one of these. It is very straightforward. We're going to use a number 2 hex wrench, and we're going to loosen both of these Allen keys. And then you're going to want to grab an automotive tool and very carefully pry around it. Just don't pry too hard or you'll break it. So there's probably going to be like 30 years worth of dust underneath it and welding fumes. So if you have it, use a shop vac to lightly clean this out, vacuum it up, and then bring it outside and blow her out. And then here we have our control panel. So there's just a few wires that you have to unclip. And then there is one screw that you have to loosen, and this whole control panel comes out like so. Just make sure when you're pulling the plugs, pull them straight and don't like pull them off to the side, or else these pins bend really easily. And then once you got everything squared away, you just push the panel back in. Once you connect everything, you kind of have to finesse it once you remove it. And then put the 2 Allen keys back in, and that's done. So let's say hypothetically you get 750 hours on this fume extractor. You're probably going to want to either check or change your carbon brushes. So to do that, we're going to use our 2.5 Allen key, and we're going to remove all these Allen head bolts, and then we're going to use our wrench to remove these. The size of these is adjustable, so I don't know, it's probably a 8 mil or something, but adjustable wrench, no need to guess. So let's get it removing. Here's one piece. And then here's where the motors are for the section. I'm going to carefully pull this guy out. And then your brushes are going to be right over here. Okay, dear viewer, you might be asking, what are the carbon brushes? So these are the carbon brushes. These are the guys that will be making contact with the actual motor. That's what's going to be powering the motor through this. Don't ask me how, but this is it right here. And then when you buy it, here's the part number. When you buy this guy, it also comes with sets. So you get 2 of these sets for the rubber ring, and then you get 2 of these guys. These are on the actual cover, so mine are still fairly good condition, so I ain't gonna touch them, because when you mess with it, well, actually, yeah, I'll replace these. Usually when you mess with stuff, that's how stuff gets made worse than before, but I will replace these. And when you order this, you'll be getting 4 carbon brushes. They look like that. And then you got these guys that look like this. So let's continue on. We're going to grab our motor and we're just going to gently yank it out. And then pay attention to the wires that are back here. You don't want to rip any of those, because everything's expensive on this thing. So here's our seal. And we're going to disconnect this yellow wire. If you can see it, there's one yellow for one carbon brush, and then there's a black one opposite it for the other carbon brush. And for this guy, we're going to use a screwdriver. I'm just going to use a regular old flathead here. We're going to disconnect this guy. And then let's pop it out. Pop the connector out. And pull your carbon brush out. So this one obviously has seen better days. Here's new. Here's not so new. So not horrible, half-life, but since I got it out, I'm replacing it anyways. Just gonna shove it back in here. Put the connector on. Shove that in. Cool. And then we're gonna switch to the opposite side. Obviously making sure not to pull any of these wires. Although, let's make sure I don't break anything. Alright. So then, same thing for this carbon brush here. We're gonna pop it out. This guy seems to be fighting, okay. I'll just grab a needle nose and pull that one out. Go in here. Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. This one again, about half-life. I wonder why these guys are stuck though. Here we go. Here's the new one going in. This is what, X72. Woofda. Yeah, that one's worked quite a bit. So let's stick this guy in. Clip. In. That's done. There's only a few connectors. So I'm going to disconnect this guy. The red one. And then, let's see, we'll just disconnect the white one. Oh boy. This is how stuff never goes back together. You know, now's a good time to mark it. With a W. And then we're going to mark this one with an R. Red. White. And then the last one we're not even going to mark, because I mean there's 3 colors. What are the chances we're going to screw all of them up? And then we also have a green one. And with that, we have the whole motor out. So we're going to grab our new seal. And then we're going to put this new seal over this motor. And then she's good to go. Now, since I took this thing this far apart, I mean, I might as well just blow it out with the shop vac here to get this dust out, to get the motor a little bit better. Definitely 100% wear a mask. You do not want to get this junk into your lungs or anywhere. Wear a mask, mask up, PPE, because you don't want to breathe in your welding slag. Here we go. Now it's assembly time, so let's just connect up our wires. So my unit, when I bought it from eBay, it was harshly used, and the cover for the filter, not only was it broken, it was severely warped, and this foam stuff eaten up, and I mean, I call it unusable. So with the help of my 3D printer, I was able to print this guy here. This is out of some carbon fiber ASA, maybe PETG, I don't remember, but it's carbon fiber, so that's gonna stand up some use. And we got this filter here that we're gonna finish installing after we wash our hands. So here we have the brand new filter, and it says this side up, so obviously this side's going up, and it just sits in like so. And I mean, obviously the fit isn't as great as the OE cover, but I'm not paying $120 for a piece of plastic. Are you joking me? So yeah, forget the foam. This just presses up really nicely against the filter. It's not going anywhere. It's screwed in. The filter's not going anywhere. So now is the moment of truth. Let's see if she fires up. Here we have it. Unfortunately, my control panel, this switch is busted, so I can't control high or low. Right now it's set to auto, so it doesn't work unless you have your lead under this guy. But let's switch to manual and see if it sucks. So it does in fact work after reassembly. So this is just everything I'm going to touch on this video. In the future coming, hopefully, Lord willing, I'm going to be replacing this this connector that broke off the ground, and these prongs are a little shaky. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to redo some of this. For this connector here, switch has to come out, bottom control panel has to come out again with the motors, but eventually, when I feel like it, I'll make a video on how to replace this guy. But I have, as you can see, another one right over there. So that one is going to be getting new brushes as well, new seals, and on Facebook Marketplace it goes. Since I was able to score it, as you can see, the control panel is also busted. I'm awaiting parts so I can fix it all in one day. I hope this video was helpful for the Lincoln Miniflex fume extractors, because there's not currently any resources besides the manual, which isn't super clear, on how to do any of these maintenance items. So I hope this helps you out. If it does, please leave a like, subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one. See ya. So I decided to change out the brushes in this second unit. I think maintenance was definitely not a word that they used at the shop. Check this out. I was wondering why it was intermittently working on and off. Like if you shook it or if you plugged it in, sometimes it'd start, sometimes it wouldn't. For reference, these brushes are the ones I took off out of the old unit, right? And here's 3 out of the 4 brushes that I pulled. Nothing left. Running on fumes. Practically nothing left. Like it's supposed to spring. There's nothing left. So for the time being, while I wait for more brushes to come, these guys are going back in so I can use it. But man, this thing is filthy. I mean, it's just weld dust. This thing's gonna need a good once or twice over. I mean, that thing's cracked in the back. The seals I thought these seals were bad that were on there, but these are like shot. Yeah, this thing's had a hard service life, that's for sure.